Knock, knock. Hey, Mr. Conrad, my name is Daniel.
Hey Daniel, nice to meet you.
I'm your student physical therapist today. So what we're going to do is run through, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and we're going to run a few assessments, and we're going to try to figure out what's going on today. So
Okay.
you're coming in for a little bit of back pain.
A little bit of back pain, yep. Exercise induced mostly.
Exercise-induced back pain. So would you say that's your biggest complaint is back pain during exercise?
Yeah, it usually happens when like I stand for long periods of time, or if I'm like on a long hike, or if I do jiu-jitsu and I lift weights. So there's certain things that will aggravate it in those certain areas as well.
Okay, so you sound pretty active. What kinds of exercises do you do? So jiu-jitsu, hiking,
So jiu-jitsu, so mainly on any given day, I'm usually lifting weights 3 or 4 times a week, jiu-jitsu 5 or 6 times a week, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week, Peloton, exercise bike sometimes, hiking sometimes on the weekends. I've been skiing, but obviously we're not in a place where so skiing like maybe once a month or something like that. So
Okay.
lots of different things going on.
Gotcha. So would you say that you started having back pain once you started getting more active, or when did you start?
So the first time I ever noticed it was probably 19 or 20 at like a career fair at school,
Okay.
and it was when I was walking around. So before I was active, so I have a history of being like overweight, and
Yeah.
so what would happen is that standing up for long periods of time would lead to just in general an achy back.
Okay.
And then, but it's manageable, right? Because I've gone through periods of activity and being sedentary, and I've run marathons, and I've been sedentary and stuff like that. And so I don't recall it ever being a problem when I was running, and I started running in my 40s. It was mostly standing, but now that like I'm exercising a ton, like I notice like different weaknesses in my body presenting them in different ways. And so one of those things is under certain stresses, my lower back will ache.
Okay. So do you have kind of a recent onset that has had you seek care now, or like, I guess I know what made
Yeah.
you seek care right now.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
Has there been a recent episode of back pain?
Well, so a couple places it manifests. Like sometimes, like there's probably 2 cases where it is, maybe 3 cases where it's maybe the most frustrating. Where like I want to get ahead of it, so it doesn't get worse as I get older, right? Because I'm 50 and I don't want it to be worse when I'm 60.
Yeah.
So like, so routinely on Sunday mornings, like I'll hike. And after 4 or 5, 6 miles, like lower back's really achy. Like to the point, like when I sit down in the car afterwards, it almost like hurts initially to sit down.
Yeah.
And then I'm stiff getting up, but I'm not like injured the rest of the day. I'm functional. It's just like really, really tight. And then when I go skiing, like if you're standing in a lift line or something like that, you know, it'll start aching, kind of that pattern of being on your feet for a long period of time. And then I think this is probably more expected. Like sometimes like I'll start off my work week with lifting on like a Monday morning, and then hit jiu-jitsu the next day. And by the time I've lifted weights and done like really active thing yet, like sometimes like on a Wednesday, like right now, like I just came out of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And like my back's like a little achy, like not debilitating, but it's like enough to say, hey, I'm here, be careful.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just very cognizant of it.
Okay, so we've gotten a pretty good detail on what makes it worse. Is there anything that you can do to make it better once it starts to act up?
Yeah, so I've been playing around a lot. So I'm doing a lot of things to try to strengthen it, like the way that, so like my personal trainer will have me do, like, I've got different clamshell exercises that I'll do, and different hip thruster exercises that I'll do. Good mornings, like where you basically have a bar of your shoulder and like you hinge at the hip and like kind of stretch the hamstrings, right? And so what I've found is that like if I do those, like if I were going to go hiking and I did like a couple of reps of the good mornings and some hip thrusters, like I think that will generally, I don't know if it will stop it, but it will delay the onset of it.
Okay.
So that's the one thing. So like before I roll jiu-jitsu, like I do a lot of like stretches, really focusing on like pivoting my pelvis and trying to get like that lower back stretched out a little bit. Yeah, but the thing from an exercise perspective, it's mostly good mornings and hip thrusters, and then just general stretching and things like that. That's what I try. Yeah.
So can you give me a little bit more nature, or a little bit more information into the nature of this pain? So you say you have an achiness around your back.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit more, and if you could kind of stand up and,
Yeah, sure.
could you put a finger on it, or
Yeah,
how do you describe the
it's
area?
absolutely, it's like right in here,
Yeah.
like right in this area. where it will start to hurt, and just that's where the achiness will come. It makes you almost like want to kind of do this number
Yeah.
a little bit. And so, like, I don't know how much you guys like you want like my perception of like everything. It's like right now I just came out of jiu-jitsu and like right this outside muscle is like really achy right now. So like sometimes the outside of my hips will be achy, but not painful, just achy. Sometimes hip flexors feel really tight. Last week I had a really interesting thing I'd never experienced before. I did deadlifts and then in some good mornings, and then went to the jiu-jitsu gym later that day and the next day. And like the left and right side of my hips and like my upper glutes, super sore. And then like lower back, like a little bit of a dull ache.
Okay.
And that's the way I could best describe it. It's more of a dull ache. This just makes just annoying. It makes me want to resolve it.
Yeah.
More than it is like acute pain.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, so no numbness and tingling or anything like that going down the legs?
No numbness and tingling going down the legs at all. I did have an incident a couple weeks ago, last time I went skiing, where it felt like, and I might be totally wrong with what I'm going to call this, but it felt like almost like a sciatic nerve kind of a thing, like right in my upper glute. There was a little bit of nerve pain, but I don't know that that's not a recurring thing. That was just like something I went, oh, that's new, let me pay attention, kind of thing. But then actually that night I got a massage, and it like after the massage, it's like nerve pain was gone.
Okay,
So, yeah.
that's good. So let me get an idea for your daily pattern of pain.
Okay.
Right? So to start off with, do you have any pain right now?
Well, only because I just came from like 2 hours of hard exercise, right?
Okay.
So it's a little achy right this minute. But like generally when I wake up in the morning, and this is all very much tied to whatever my physical, like if I just sat on the beach for a week and did nothing,
Yeah.
like I would get up in the morning and wouldn't have any pain whatsoever. I could probably go all day and not have any pain. If I went to a concert that night and stood for 3 hours, my lower back would start aching, right? So then like once you get out of like that base, no physical activity, then it's just all down to like whatever set of exercises that I'm doing or whatever activities I'm trying to do.
So on any given day, what is if you had to give it a scale of 1 to 10, so right now you have a little bit of pain, what would
Yeah.
you say?
To me, it's like it's hard because I'm sitting down right now. But like, let's say
Whatever first number comes to your mind is typically
3,
the best.
2 or 3
out of 10.
right now, and yeah, like right this minute, 2 or 3,
And at its best, you say it's completely gone, no pain.
completely gone now.
And at its worst, the worst pain you've had due to lower back.
I gotta imagine there's a lot of people that get into a lot of pain with this kind of stuff. I'd probably say at its absolute worst, it's a 5, a 4 or 5. Yeah.
All right.
Like there's never a point at which like I couldn't get up out of a chair and like go do something if I had to.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
no point. There might be a point at which I go like, this really sucks, and I've got 3 more miles to walk, and I really wish it didn't hurt. Like, really wish it didn't hurt. You know, or maybe I need to sit down from it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. So 2 to 5 is kind of our range. that
Probably
we're
2 to
in.
5, maybe 0 to 5, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
You know?
So as far as the pattern of pain goes, do you ever notice that any sort of pattern developing where you might have the back pain before the hip pain or the hip pain before the back pain? Do they tend to be related to each other at all?
So if I am not doing exercise per se, I would say that it's lower back achiness with no pain and nothing else around it.
Okay.
So when it starts to border on pain is like when I've been really active. Like right this minute, like my outside hip is like it makes me want to do this, right? Like I just want to stretch
It's
it.
that same dull achiness.
Yeah, but it's bordering on like, yeah, this is gonna tighten up and it's gonna really suck.
Yeah.
Like I suspect when I wake up tomorrow morning that this is gonna suck. I suspect my upper glutes is gonna suck. And like I may or may not have lower back pain associated with that until I go do something else later in the day.
Okay.
So yeah. Cool. I was gonna self-diagnose, but you guys probably don't need that. I'll let you guys take it.
Let us do the diagnosis here.
I'll tell you exactly what I think's going on, and you know, you guys.
No, yeah, that information is super helpful. So whatever information you've got.
Yeah.
So that kind of describes your pain well. Going forward, just want to make sure we're ruling out anything, bad or anything
Yeah.
like that. So in your family history, you said you have a history of cancer.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable talking
Yeah,
about
please,
it,
let's talk about it. Yeah, for sure.
What kind of cancer in your history?
So my mom had breast cancer that moved into her bones and lymph nodes. She passed away when she was about 47. I was like 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
No other significant past medical history. Have you had any surgeries or anything like that?
So I haven't, but I'll give you guys a little bit of a bit of a backstory. My dad, when he was probably in his late 20s, maybe early 30s, actually had back surgery and had a couple of vertebrae fused. Okay. That's a while ago, right? So probably 25, 30 years ago. My brother has been dealing with some lower back pain and was recently diagnosed with like some sort of like slip disc in his back. And so one of the things, next time I go down to the Mayo Clinic, I'm gonna have them basically, I don't know if it's an x-ray or an MRI or something, have them scan my back to see if there's any physical issue there, but it hasn't been acute enough to where I've gone and actually had that.
Hopefully we'll get to the point here where you don't feel like you need
Well,
it.
there you go. That would be better.
Even if you end up getting it.
Yeah.
Another thing, you don't have any history of diabetes, stroke, heart problems,
No.
nothing like that. You don't have any pain at night or anything like that. Does it get
Well,
worse
so
at
like
night?
sometimes, no, it doesn't get worse at night. Sometimes what will happen is if it's been aggravated,
Yeah.
like it'll stiffen up when I sleep, you know, but it's not like a persistent every night kind of a problem.
Okay. And then like weird unexplained weight loss lately. No weight
No,
loss. is
all weight
unintentional.
loss has been very intentional in the last couple
That's
of years.
good.
So.
That's the kind of weight loss we want.
Right.
Have you had any bowel and bladder issues lately?
I have not had any bowel or bladder issues.
And you said no numbness and tingling anywhere?
No.
Nothing
None
like
at all.
that?
None at all.
All right. A few last things. Do you take any medications for your back pain?
For my back pain, I do not. I'll generally not even attempt like Tylenol or Advil or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's not to that level, and I don't want to get. And my general bent has been not to get addicted to having to take some sort of ibuprofen or something like that. So
And have you had previous treatment for this back pain?
I have not. So
No
last
treatment at all?
well, so last time.
Chiropractic,
well,
anything like that? Seriously, anything? Have you seen a physical
Oh,
therapist?
chiropractic makes it so much better. Those guys are the best. I'm just kidding. So when I was at the Mayo Clinic last time, I had my hip X-ray. That's where they diagnosed. I don't know if we mentioned this on camera here, but they diagnosed me with the femoroacetabular impingement in my left hip. But I have normal range of motion in my left hip, and I have actually more than normal range of motion in my right hip. So there is definitely an imbalance in range of motion, but both are within normal. The PT at Mayo basically said that he thought like my glutes were weak and my core was weak.
Okay.
And had actually, and you guys will laugh, prescribed me a few things to do that I didn't do, right? Because I had such another routine. I had a hard time working it into my normal routine, right? And so
Patient is lazy.
Patient is lazy and doesn't follow instructions. No, it's fair, right? So it's fair. And then like, so early on, like I did try to do some chiropractic, but yeah, it's neither here nor there. It really didn't.
Gotcha.
It didn't make a difference one way or the other. So,
Okay, so we've
yeah.
seen PT, got exercises, didn't do them, so we're back.
It was like kind of like
back.
normal. It was like clamshells and Frankenstein walks and these different things. Right, all things you guys are probably
Gotcha.
familiar with. It
Yeah.
was pretty basic. Yeah.
Okay, last thing I'll ask from you.
Sure.
What would you say is your main goal coming out of physical therapy? If you could achieve your highest goal after
Yeah.
physical therapy,
So my situation is so just turned 50 last year, and very cognizant being on the precipice of getting older, right?
Yeah.
And so like the minimum is just functional fitness until I die, right? So I want to be at a good
Sounds
weight.
good.
I want to be able to pick up grandkids, lift luggage into an overhead bin, right? Functional is the baseline. For as long as possible, I want to be able to comfortably do things as if I was a fit 35-year-old. Never gonna be 20 again,
Yeah.
right? But I'd like to be able to ski comfortably. I'd like to be able to do climbing walls comfortably. I'd like to be able to hike comfortably, stand at a concert for 3 hours comfortably. And so I don't have any illusions of being an elite athlete, but I would like to be able to do more than just the baseline amount of exercise, and do it comfortably and reasonably pain-free for as long as I choose to.
That seems like a fair goal, and hopefully we can get you
Would
to
like
it.
that, yeah.
All right, so I've asked all the questions. I've interrogated you enough.
Okay.
We're going to end up doing some different assessments on you to
Okay.
try to get some physical representations of your pain.
Okay.
A lot of times the goal here is going to be to reproduce your pain, so
Okay.
that's kind of what we're looking for. If at any point during this exam you get that sign where you go, oh, that's my back pain,
Okay.
make sure and tell us. Or if you're getting any weird new sensations, just be very verbal with us and communicate. All right?
Cool.
Right. So yeah, as we said, now that we're gonna start kind of get some like objective testing, just kind of get some baseline measurements,
Okay.
and see how you're feeling. So first off, do you mind taking your shirt off for me so I can kind of see everything at a baseline view? Awesome. All right. So I'm just gonna take a look at your posture.
Okay.
First, we'll do it sitting, the one that you stand up.
Okay.
I'm just kind of looking to see if I see any general imbalances, anything like that. All right. Nothing crazy there. Just kind of like we said, just kind of leaning to the left a little bit when you're
Okay.
sitting, a little bit higher on the right shoulder over there.
Mhm.
So go ahead and stand up for me. Does anything change when you get off the bed there? Nothing. Okay. I'm gonna have you stand out here. You can just face the back there. What's that?
Left to my own devices, I will tend to want to stand like not straight, like that. And so I'm actually actively working on making myself not do that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's good. So you'll kind of lean over onto that left side.
yeah, I'll tend to like release pressure. Like it's like it feels like pressure, like
Okay.
standing here like this. Like as I stand here straight up, like I can now. Granted, this is a little bit injured from jujitsu today. It's just a little bit tight, but it's like as I stand here, it's like I will feel more tightness in this hip flexor and this
Okay.
outside, and it makes this like standing like I exaggerate, right? Standing like this relieves that pressure for
Okay.
me. And so like I'm actively working on holding my core, glutes, standing up straight.
Gotcha. So just standing here right now, is it causing any pain?
No pain whatsoever, but there's some intentionality to it, right? This is not a default posture for me.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, go back to the
Just
default
like
posture.
that's how I'd like to stand if I was standing here for a while.
Okay. Is it always on that left side?
It's
that
always
you
the
feel
left
it?
side.
Always.
Always the left side.
Okay. Is it so when we say left side, is it left hip, left lower back, left?
Well, so any pain, any of that dull achiness is generalized to both left and right. It's not on one side or the other.
Okay.
But the tightness in the hip flexor and the outside hip is it's not impossible for there to be tightness over here, but this is where the tightness generally comes in, is on the left hand side.
Okay. Can you
Yep.
show me exactly where the tightness
Yeah,
is?
so again, where it's at right now
Yes.
is I'll feel it right through here.
Okay.
And like right now, like right in here is where there's like a little bit of an acute thing from rolling this morning. But that's not generally the lower back. Like the lower back is just this achiness like right through, like right all in here. And then like I told you last week, there was like this series of things where it's like, it was super interesting. It's like both my outside hips were tight and my upper glute was tight, but not necessarily correlated to back end.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now I'm gonna have you just kind of take some steps towards.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go stand down here. If you will just walk down to me just at a normal. And kind of stand on that left side over there is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Do you notice that as well?
Mhm,
I'm sure.
yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I have to be super conscious not to want to go this direction, you know, a lot.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, go come back in. I'm just gonna put your
Sure,
shirt
you can stop right there.
Are you comfortable laying on your stomach?
Anything you'd like me to do?
Okay, I'm gonna have you put your head down this way, feet down that way.
Okay.
Would it be more comfortable to put it in the hole, or if you?
Which I'm okay. You just tell me where's
Okay,
best.
we'll
most
put your
effective.
face in the hole
Okay.
there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of feel around for some musculature back here, and then I'm
Okay.
also gonna feel right along that lower lumbar spine. I want you to tell me if you're feeling any of that pain that you're coming in with,
Okay.
or any pain in general, all right? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of move each of these individual vertebrae back here.
Okay.
Again, let me know if you're feeling any of that pain that you're
Okay.
coming in with, okay?
Okay.
All right, last I'm just gonna kind of feel in this gluteal region down here just to see if I can feel anything that's tight, okay? Yeah, found just like a, you can go ahead and sit on up, by the way. Sure. So yeah, it's just a little tight down there in those lower segments on that left side. It was, again, you know, you kind of noticed that it was a little bit painful. It was a little familiar there. Your left gluteal region did seem a little bit more tight as well. So that's something that we can note and kind of look at moving forward. Finally, I'm just going to have you do some ranges of motion, and then we'll wrap up and kind of move on.
Okay. Cool. Stand up?
Yep, go ahead and stand up for me. All right, come on out this way. So what I'm first going to have you do is, I'm just going to have you bend forward like you're touching your toes down there for me.
Oh, that's hard to do, right? It's very tight there.
All right, you can come back up.
So when I do that, you can definitely feel that pressure in my lower back, but it feels like tightness, not pain. If that makes sense, right?
So it's more like you're not able to do it because you're limited with the tightness, or are you limited by pain?
So my hypothesis is that I can't do it physically because my hamstrings are too tight, but I don't know that for sure, right? Obviously. Right, so as I go down, right, so it's like, it definitely is like a little achy, right? This is like reminiscent through this, right? But it's not like, not excruciating, right? It doesn't stop me from doing anything.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay, I feel it. Now I'm into the stretching my hamstrings.
Okay.
And that's probably like the range of motion is like limiting, right?
Okay, got it.
So,
All right, we're gonna do that one more time. Sorry, I'm
No.
gonna measure it, take a measurement real quick, and then we'll move on to the next. So hold on real quick for me. Last, we're just gonna do a test that kind of combines all those movements just to see if we can recreate any of that pain that you're coming in with. So what I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna bend backwards, side bend, and rotate all at the same time.
so backwards, side bend, like that.
Just slide your hand down. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you'll just imagine kind of sliding that hand back down the back side of your hamstring there.
Like that.
Is that painful there?
No, it's again getting kind of crampy in my lap, but you know, other than that, no lower back.
No lower back issues there.
Actually feels good.
Okay, all right, let's try it on that side as well.
Let's see if I can. Okay, so back to the side like this.
And then back up.
Same deal.
thing.
Like flat wants to cramp, but you know, no
Okay.
lower back cramp.
All right. Okay, I believe that's all that we got for the kind of objective testing. We're gonna have Kyle kind of take a look at some of the other extra movements.
Okay, awesome.
All right, you can go ahead and lie on your right side, so facing me.
Facing you. Thank you for the clarification. I'm not sure I got that. Okay,
It's
cool.
always easy to simplify.
Okay, cool.
So now basically I'm gonna have you bend your knees up a little bit, still laying on your side. Yep. And I
Okay.
want you to scoot a little bit closer to the edge so your knees are hanging off just a little bit. And what I'm gonna be doing now is just feeling for some of those tissues along your spine, along your low back,
Okay.
and moving your legs for you.
Okay.
So basically what I want you to do here is relax. And what I'm gonna have you do first is I want you to bring this right knee up to your chest bone as far as you can go. So now keeping this leg on the table, I want you to raise this leg to the sky as high as you can.
Yeah, it's like, I'll tell you what's happening. It's like, it's starting to cramp.
Okay.
Like right up
So-
in here. Yeah.
Relax that leg then, yeah.
Okay.
You can't even give them like a 3 out of 5 abductor strength.
Yeah, can't hold it.
Sit down.
All right.
Okay.
I'm Chris. I'm going to be your next one.
Nice to meet you.
So we're going to start out doing some quick strength tests.
Okay.
And then we're going to do some functional tests, and then we might have you a few more tests just to
Okay.
kind of really hold. So I'm going to have you lie on your back for me. Actually, just lie with your feet and off the table here.
Why with like this?
Sit up. Sit up on the table. Got it. And I'm going to have you, just like we did before, I'm going to have you bring your leg across. Either like
This?
Yep. All right, do that one more time.
So you want me to keep my hip?
Yep, keep
like-
it on the ground.
Okay, okay.
And I'm going to just add resistance. So I'm
Okay.
going to pull this way, and I just want you to resist. So 3,
Okay.
2, 1. All right, awesome. You can come on up.
Okay.
And we are gonna do a quick, just a functional screen. So I'm gonna have you stand up for me. And I just want to see how you squat down. So just give me a.
Okay. Like if I was squatting on a
just
bar.
on the bar. Yep.
That's like 4 months of personal training to try to even get like that good. I do have some goofinesses in my squats typically.
A little bit of flexion. Do you feel when you go squat? Do you feel?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're gonna do one. This one kind of weird, funky. So I'm gonna just demonstrate it.
Okay.
We're gonna have you line trunk on the table.
Okay.
Feet on the ground, and I'm just
Okay.
gonna apply a little bit of pressure
Okay.
to your hips area. And what I'm gonna have you do is one.
Both of them at the same time?
If you can. But
Oh really? Okay, so you're okay, cool. So like trunk on the table, like that here?
Raise it.
L2, L3. Table there.
It's
Oh,
supposed
with-
to be
those are
reminiscent
Brad
of
now all
it,
the time.
of the achiness a little bit.
Where's there?
Yeah, a little bit. You can feel it, you know? Yeah, they're probably right that that's getting a little closer to it. No.
More here.
Yeah, right there. That's probably the center of
Now
it.
lift those legs up and see if it gets better.
Yeah, it did.
So we're just gonna do a test. We're gonna look at, you know, some of those structures that you say are tight. We're gonna see just like how limited they are. So you just relax for me, okay?
Okay.
Relax. We're gonna bend this knee.
So like actually.
And then I'm gonna actually have you scoot kind of towards me, and you're gonna lay back.
Alright.
And actually, could you scoot a little bit closer, so a little bit further down the table, a little bit more. Okay. And once again, you just get to relax. We're gonna just drop this leg down towards the table. Hands and knees.
Hands and knees?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And anterior
So
core.
hand,
Yeah, actually hands,
There we
not
go.
elbows. Okay.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to
Might be late for this vaccine.
kick this leg up towards the ceiling for me. Okay. Come back down. I want you to try to keep that leg straight. Okay, yep. So lay on your back for me.
Okay. You guys are probably too young to
On
have
your
ever had to have had a prostate exam, but I'm just telling you, this is like
about it.
It's a little bit too close for comfort.
We're gonna
Okay.
bend these knees up. And what I want you to do is I want you to arms out in front of you like this. I want you to try and reach up towards your knees, okay? So,
Like that?
yep, and I want you to hold it, okay?
Oh, okay.
We're gonna hold it as long as you can. Any issues with that?
No.
Pretty strong there. Look at you.
Been working on it for a little bit, so yeah.
Good, good.
Okay.